Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Timberborn. So we've got a couple plans that I want to get on today. The main one being is that I want to get the sluice gates unlocked so that I can do a couple cool things which we'll see later on. So to get started with that, we're going to need a few things. One of them definitely being science, which we've got one of the inventor huts going, but I'll definitely leave that one going and maybe add another one on. But we also need to get the metal that we can see there. So to do that, there's a couple ways we can do it. But the early game one is just using this scavenger flag here. So you set this up near the metal piles, like this one here. I think there's another one up around here. But since I've already got a path kind of going up this way, I'll unlock that one and pop him just in there somewhere. Of course, run a path to it and kick that along, and I'll unpause it now, let the beavers start building that. The other thing that I might do is get a few more beavers unlocked. Need a few more workers. So we can do that easily just by adding in a couple more lodges. And I think for now I'm just going to add them there. And I might get another 2. We should be able to support that kind of population with the food supply that's going on and the water. So we'll get that kicked off, and who's going in there? Rakash, I don't know how to say that properly, but that's okay. So we can see him, he's going to take some of the scrap metal from the ruins just here, and we'll deposit that into his scavenger flag. We're going to need a little bit of scrap from it. So I think what I'm going to do is take a large pile, and I think I can fit it in there, and we'll set that to store the scrap metal there. So I think what I'll do is once he fills up that scrap, I can pause his job so that he can then be freed up to do some other things. So the other thing that we're going to need lots of is science points. So I'm going to get another inventor's hut, and got to find a good place to put it. For now he can go right there. So that'll get us a bit more science going as well. One of the other things that we'll need to get the metal blocks is this smelter here. This is what converts the scrap metal and a few logs into the metal blocks. But to build that, we're also going to need some gears. So the way that we get gears, if you look in the wood tab, is with this gear workshop. So we have all the stuff to build it. Well, we will. We've got access to all the things to build it. And it's just 100 science, so I think I may get that on the go to start with. And where should I put it? For now I might just put it there. I think I will move it later though, because I think we're going to need this for farming area once we get a little bit further along. So to build the smelter, we're going to need 20 gears, and this only holds... I don't actually know, where is it? This tab here. Doesn't tell me how many it holds, but I'm going to build just another small pile. Actually not a small pile, it's a small warehouse. We'll get a small warehouse in there for now and set that to the gears. So then once I fill up that, then I can I can pause that job so that they can go do some other things. Alright, so far so good, and as I go along I will get them to replant oaks in here as they cut the trees down. Good. Alright, so I'm going to pause it here. Oh, we've got the bad tide approaching. So I might pause it here, and I'll bring you back either just before the bad tide comes in so I can show you how all this works, or when we've made some more progress on this one. Alright, so here we are at the end of cycle 5, and as we can see there's 0.1 days left of the wet season, so the bad tide's going to be approaching. So what I'm going to do in preparation is raise the height of the floodgates, and since it's synchronized with all the other ones, as we can see by that tick box there, when we unpause it, won't be too long, and then it'll be the bad tide coming in, the water stops flowing through here, and then water will kick out the side there. So speed it up a little bit, Don't want to overflow too much, and there we go. The bad tide now just gets kicked off the side of the map. So we have all this water here that's still going to be good water. So this is going to be going on for 8 days. So that's a decent chunk of time, but we should be okay. This water down here is a little bit low, and if you don't know, you can glitch through the terrain a bit, and there you can see how much water there is. There's actually not a lot of water sitting in there. So this might be interesting. I might need to figure out some way to temporarily boost the water levels in there. I don't know if I want to do it with a floodgate. Eventually I do want to have the sluice gates, which I can have a big reservoir set up that will then filter the water down as needed. But that's a little bit of a ways off for now, so we're just going to have to keep going with this one. I have just been, as you've seen, just replanting the oaks where they can go. And I'm also going to clear out a path along here, because I think I want to move the industrial, like the workshops and stuff, down to this area, because since we have the bad tides, I could put some water wheels in and then get some power for a lot more of the time. And that may also free up a beaver for some of the time there. So I'm going to keep working on that offline, and then I'll bring you back in when something interesting happens. So we're a little bit further on in the drought, and that water down here has dried up. So not ideal, but we can still harvest the trees while they're there. It's just that they won't grow while they're waiting. So while I was waiting, I got the builders to take out this row here and put in a lumberjack flag. It's going to move this one. And why are you not cutting down? He's actually full of logs. So what we're going to do then is add another large pile, because we actually do want to stockpile quite a bit of wood. So I'll add that as logs and that as logs. Get that going. Speed them up. And pop a path in here, and I also got stairs in here so that I can start going down here and building stuff. So I'm going to delete that lumberjack flag, put a path in, and then someone should run into that one, and they can keep cutting down the trees in the area here. So we can still be stockpiling a bit of wood, which we're going to need to make everything else. So the next thing I might do is start planning out this area down here for the industrial area, and if I line the path up, I'm going to put the stairs here as well, and that can lead down this way. So since we've got the water flowing down through here, doesn't matter whether it's good water or bad water, we can use these water wheels. So I might just plug them in along the side here. I don't think I'm going to be able to build out. I could put blocks down or something like that, but I think for now I just want to leave it as is. So I might just put 1 and 2 in, maybe something like this. That should still be enough room to put a path in. So this way I can put the lumber mill in there and the gear workshop in like that. Slap a path in around there, and I might leave a little gap so I can put a small work pile in there, and that should get, once this is built, I can then take out these bits here, and then they can just use these ones, which should be powered more of the time. I can still put the power wheel in connected to one of the buildings, so there's power when there's no water flowing, but that'll be a little bit less often, so that might be a good way to go. So I'll let these guys crack on building, and I'll bring you back in when something interesting happens. Alright, so the bad tide has just ended. I just missed getting the banner, but we're start of cycle 6. So I'm going to let this play again, and once there's all good water in here, what I can then do is I can put these gates back down like this, and we can get a bit more water back in. So not only is this going to replenish our water up here, but it will also allow this forester to start doing his work again. So to help with these guys cutting down the trees that I actually want, so I can get the ones that I want cut down, I've unmarked the other areas for chopping, so hopefully they will focus on this area here. So what I can do then is put a path in down this side, and I also realize that I need to get them to take down these little ones, I think. Because, yeah, they've only just been replanted. So I'm going to mark those little trees for demolition. And there we go, they've already put in both water wheels, so they're making a decent amount of power between the two of them. So that's what's going to power the industrial area that I'm going to put in down here. Now the other thing that I could do is put in a lumberjack flag down here and get them to cut down these, which I might do as I need the space to be able to build stuff. Oh, that's good, they've just popped in the lumber mill, so what I might do... Oh, I might wait just a little bit longer so that there's enough to build this gear workshop. And then once that's done, I'm going to rip out this area along here. How are we going along there? I can still put a few more path pieces in here. And that looks good so far. So we are using all the beavers that we've got at the moment. Food is doing alright. Water is doing alright. So I think we've got a little bit more capacity. So I might throw down another lodge. I reckon if I put it in that corner, rotate it that way, I can fit another one there. And that'll help us get a few more workers, which we will probably need. And look at that, already another bad tide approaching. That's the fun of playing on hard mode. You've got a lot of things to take care of and not a lot of time with water to replenish your stores. I might actually just rip these out because then I have a few more builders that can do things. And that's a lot of resources right there. So now the builder's hut should be full and they can get this built quite quickly, hopefully. And they've also cut out this path so I can pop in the stairs and the other path on here. And I will remark this area for chopping. Alright, so we're about to hit another bad tide, so I'm going to raise these gates up once more. Hopefully it doesn't flood the area too much. I don't want too much water flowing out of these areas, but the water does shimmer like that a little bit. So the power on these will drop a little bit, but it's still going to be plenty to power this area. We can see they have also just finished building that second gear workshop. And they have finished putting this path in, so this should be a lot nicer for them to get around to it. The other thing that I forgot to move is putting in some of these warehouses. So what I'm going to do is put in a small pile just here, and that will be for planks. Another pile here for logs. I'm going to set this to obtain. It won't do anything just yet, because I don't think there's no haulers in the district, so it's not too much point. But the lumberjacks can put in their wood on those ones, which will make it easier for this guy to get logs. He can grab it from there, put it in here, he turns that into planks, puts it in here, and then this guy can grab the planks to make it into gears. So what I want to do is then get a small warehouse, and I might just put it on that side, fill in all the little gaps, and I will set that to gears as well. So we can have a nice little production going on down here. I will unlock this smelter now since we've got enough science points for it. And now I've got to figure out how I want to put this one in here. So I might rotate it this way and then turn it to there. I think that's a good idea for now. I'm going to sit that one there, and then I should still be able to fit another water wheel in here and hook it up with a power shaft there. So because all these buildings are touching, they're going to share their power between them, but they still have their own water wheel. So if I do for some reason want to take out the gear workshop or something, there's still power between the rest of them. So I'm going to let that tick along and I'll bring you back in a minute. Okay, so they're just about to finish the smelter here, which means, I forgot to put a path on there. Which means now we can start getting some metal blocks, which will be quite nice. So we've still got a few days left on the drought, and Don't know if you can see, but there's not much water in there. So I'm actually going to pause both pumpers. We do have a bit of water built up, but I really don't want the food area to dry out. So the next bit that I'm going to start on, I might actually take out this row here and those berry bushes there, because I'm going to start building up a bit of a reservoir in here in preparation for getting the sluice gates, because the only thing that's stopping me now is having some metal blocks, which reminds me I should build another pile for metal blocks. So I might put it up here for now, just so we can stockpile a few of them, so that we're ready to build the sluice gates when we can. So to start off with, I'm going to put some levees across here, I think, for now. And then I should have enough to unlock the sluice gate, which I do. I think I want it at that point there so I can close it above that downstream depth. So when I do that, I can put levees across here. I'll just put in a path around there so that they can get to it. And I'm going to make sure I plant that sunflower back in so they don't delete them. Okay, so I'm going to let them get on with building it. It looks like they're throwing it in decently quickly, which is nice. Again, this area dried out, but once I get these sluice gates in, at least the one here, that'll help keeping this area full. And then when I get enough, I can throw in another one, probably up here, to keep this area nice and full as well. But it'll all rely on how much water we have in the reservoir. But by putting it in this way, I can always extend the reservoir out this way here, or out this way here, and move the food production along. So it's an expandable way of building it. But once these guys make a little bit more progress here, I'll bring you back in. So something interesting did happen. Was pumping the water for a bit too long, apparently, because this area has now dried out. So there's 0.5 days left of the drought, and these carrots have a little bit more time, but it's going to be a little bit close, and I have just had that sluice gate go in. So I really want to get that water back down in here, and I have also just noticed that they have eaten through the carrots that I had stored up, so now we are living off berries. So I think once the water's back in, one of the other things that we're going to want to do is add some more carrots in, probably in along here, or maybe pop in some potatoes so that we have another food source. So this will be a bit close. That looks like it's all good water there, so let's pour it back in here, and that keeps a few of them alive. Oop. There we go. That's all filled up there. I forgot that it would do that. So that's not fantastic, but they have cleared out that second area. So not so great that the food is flooded, but what I will do is take off those paths there and get them to build in these levees. So we do have all the resources for it, so it should happen fairly quickly, and I will get them started on these ones here as well, because I want to have that area back. And now, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep all of this area, but I will have them start planting it as carrots, so at least then we've got a bit more food supply in. So this one's gone from drying out to now being flooded. It's a little bit funny for the carrots. But yeah, this area is all up and running, so we are starting to get some metal, which is how we got the sluice built up in there. For now, I may actually need to take out a bit here just to try and get the water in underneath it, because I don't really want this area flooded. I'm going to untick that so this is open, and there we go, that's actually got the area back to normal. So that's good. Oh, also really need to get those water pumpers going because there is no water in the colony. That is not good. I will actually get another water pump, drop that in, and that will be super high priority because we're going to need the water refilled if we're going to survive the next dry season. So they're throwing that all back in. And I'll probably bring you back in when there's a little bit more to show. Okay, so they have finished that little bit of building that I started them on, and I also put in these extra bits up on here. So now that I know that the drought is approaching, one of the things that I might actually do is I'm going to replace this dam piece there with another sluice on here. So for this one, I think I'm actually going to put up one because I never want this one to be completely dry. And I'm going to have this set to a depth of 0.5. And I might actually high prioritize that one so that they can get that built really quickly. It's actually leaking water through there a bit quicker than I would like. But as they're doing that one, I will also take out these paths here and get them to build these levees across there. Alright, so now I'll bring you back just as the wet season is about to start again. They did finish off this little part of the barrier here. I did use the little trick of using the small warehouses to get blocks to get up on because it's a lot cheaper doing it that way. And I think I figured out a better way for how I want to build this section across. So I obviously don't want it water leaking over the sides all the time. So what I want to do is if I put the levee pieces along like this, and then I'm going to put some small warehouses along the top because those will have water go straight through them, but they can still build on top of them. And then also have the levee pieces along this way. So what this will do is means that they can build all these pieces, and then I can rip out the bottom pieces, put levees along there, and then replace the dam pieces along the top. So at least if I can do it this way for a little bit, just to have a little bit of a storage area, and then I can also pop these going up, and I will set these to empty as well so that icons are a little bit less annoying. I can set it like that, and I might actually just pause these two for now so that they can build most of this, and then I can do the last bit at the end. So now we can see how it's actually going to work. So we have this bit is set to close above 0.5, which because it's lower than that, it will keep it open. Let water in until it's at the 0.5 mark, and then it should be closing soon. Maybe it's just let water through. I do have that on auto. Oh no, it is working, sorry. And then the dam will fill up until it flows out the top here. There is a little bit of flooding, which isn't ideal, but it can go that way. Actually, and I can set this gate to auto now as well so that it'll flow through there. And we have some power going once again, which is nice. We are running a little bit low on wood. But there's a few trees that will pop up every now and then, so that should keep the lumberjacks busy. And I did put another flag out here to take these ones out. They're only pine, so I don't get a lot of logs from them, but it's better than not using them. If I do need to, I can chop down the oaks here, but I kind of like how they look and I want to let them grow, so we'll see where we go there. Okay, so we're doing pretty well now, so this should solve a lot of the water issues that we were having. So it should keep this area in particular watered, and also this area will keep it as well, which should help with the wood supply issue as well. So the next thing that I wanted to work on is down this way. So I'm going to draw a path straight across here and put some stairs in, because I'm thinking I want to put some dam pieces across like this, which will do a couple things. One, it should direct as much water as it can through the water wheels, but will still allow for them to overflow through the dam pieces themselves. But I won't entirely block it off, because if there's bad water here, I do want the bad water to be kicked off the map. But doing it that way as well means that I should be able to put these straight power shafts on there. Actually, I can probably move it one closer, and then I can put the windmills on this one, so there's a little bit of power even during the dry season, during droughts. But I will pause that for now because I don't really want them building that just yet. I kind of want them to focus on the dam here just to get a little bit more water stored in there, and then I can focus on a few other things, because once I've got water right, that solves a lot of other little issues, and then I can focus on doing some other things. So I might let them keep building up this area here, and then I'll bring you back once I've got something else to show. So we're a little bit further along now, only 2 days until the dry season comes. So I just wanted to show you what the idea was. So I have taken out the small warehouses that were sitting up here. And I'm also going to do the same for those pieces just there. This is set to high priority, so they should get those done fairly, well, it should be the first thing they do. And I'm also going to put levees on this piece here, and then dam pieces along the top, so then that moves it all up by 1. So I'm going to set these to high priority, this one to the highest because I want that done quickly, and then I'll let them get on building there. A little bit annoying that the logs landed just there, because it means we can't use them until they build these pieces out, but hopefully they should get this bit built just there. The good bit is, because it is just a dry season, I can let water, if water is sitting up the top here, I can lower these gates right down and it should flow in there, so it gives us a little bit more water to use that way. I did pause these guys because we were running a little bit low on logs, and I didn't want them to use up too much, but I will turn these back on now since we do have some logs around. This guy's nearly cleared out all the logs in this area, which is awesome. We'll give it a little bit longer, but I think once we finish this damn PC, we'll probably finish up the episode. So I will let these guys crack on building, and I'll bring you back in when we've got that to show you. Okay, so we're close to finishing the dam now. We didn't get it done before the drought started, but we can see the system working as we want. So there is some water built up back in here. There's a couple extra tiles, sort of thing. And this is letting out water as we pump it out, sort of thing, or as it evaporates. And then this one will also let out a little bit of water, but this one's just as it evaporates. But you can see that, you know, it keeps these areas filled without spilling water out the bottom, which is why I have these sluice gates set to the same level that I do. So it's good. They've just built the top of this dam piece along here, which is good. I did have to pause quite a few jobs around because I had a few of the beavers die, so I had to pause all these so that they would work those jobs. I did throw in another large pile along here so that this guy can keep collecting scrap metal from up the top here. And they should be able to collect these scrap metal bits along here. It's weird that they're saying that there's no storage space. Interesting. Yeah, so in the next episode, I think I want to have a look at getting a little bit more power stuff going along here. We may even look at doing some gravity batteries or something. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it would be nice to have. It might help us through these the droughts as such. And we can also probably look at using some of these different power shafts, because with gravity batteries you want them up high, so I might look at putting them up on this ledge or something like that. And I also want to look at upgrading our water storage. So we do have quite a few small tanks along here, but they can only store that much water. So if I can use these tanks instead, I can store a lot more water per area. And perhaps even looking at getting the food situation a bit better. This will certainly help, keeping it a bit more stable, but maybe introducing some other crops like potatoes or something like that. But that will be it for the episode now. I can actually probably just drop the water, fill the top of this as much as I can to keep that going. Thank you for watching. As always, if you have any suggestions or something else you'd like to see in the series, please let me know down in the comments, and thank you for watching.